Nibbana to practice that? Or feel the benefit of that paññā? Oh, you are nodding. That means you know what is that, right? May I know what is that paññā? Paññā given in the Pathakama Sutta. It's a revision, huh? Because we've been studying all this. Anybody would like to share with us your learning journey, Dhamma journey? About what did you learn about paññā-sampadā? Paññā-sampadā to a layperson, according to the Pathakama Sutta, is to remove or overcome 5 things. What are they? Number 1, abhijja visamalobha. See, we discussed them, That means perhaps you learned from this year and then it went out from the other year. Now you are again putting it from this year. I hope it will not go out of the other year, It will stay over there. That's why learning and retention is very important. Retention is very important. Why is retention very important in the Dhamma? May I know? Memory. Yes, thank you, Aaron. Yes. Why is retention important in Dhamma teaching? Say, for instance, you are going through your situations in life, your daily life. What if the Dhamma is not coming to your understanding, your mind at different points of situations? Let's say now you are going through a very struggling, hard time, and then you are almost going to say something not nice to somebody, almost going to. But you can barely see it. This is something not good to say. Then how to stop it? Then the retention has to work at that point, right? Retention means your Dhamma knowledge must remain valid at that point. Say, for instance, your knowledge, right? So, but there is another side on this. Now, Venerable Ananda memorized all the Sutta Pitaka, right? Have you heard some people are saying, I read Sutta Pitaka for 4 times, 5 times. So what then? Then what about Venerable Ananda? They couldn't even attain Nibbana. It is not just memorizing the Tipitaka or Suttas that is important. The important thing is being able to practice it whenever necessary. That is the most important thing. And that Angulimala killed almost 1,000 people, never had a chance to listen to any Dhamma talk. But during a very brief encounter with the Buddha, he could understand that is relevant to him. That's a special case. But that means retention or memorization of the Dhamma is important. But it is alone not important in our Dhamma journey. But anyways, going back to paññā, number 1 is, according to Pathakama Sutta, lay people, in order for lay people to be wise, they need to overcome abhijja visamalobha. Now, my next question, what is abhijja, what is visamalobha? Tell me then. Right, that is the next question. What is abhijja? What is visamalobha? That's the first thing that lay people have to remove if they want to be wise. If they don't have any idea about it, then forget about it. But if you really want to be wise, then you should know that first thing. Abhijja visamalobha must be overcome. As much as you can. It will come. You will remove it. You will overcome it. It will come up. As unenlightened people, it will come. We cannot blame that. But every time it is going to arise, it is arising. I'm not going to let it grow. I'm going to let it go. Abhijja means? Abhijja is not craving. Craving is
Ignorance.
no. That is avijja. This is abhijja. This is BH. That one, VI. right? Let me write that, otherwise more miscommunication might happen. Huh? That is avijja, call it ignorance. And this is abhijja. Abhijja means greed. Greed about
Selfishness.
Others having.
greed about what I have. I am greedy about what I have. What are the things I have? I mean, you have, depending on the things that you have, you are creating a greed. Is it normal or is it very abnormal? Yeah. Is it normal to be greedy or is it abnormal to be greedy? Huh? You think about a baby is born just now but never cry. Something wrong with the baby, right? Why the baby is not crying? Similarly, every sentient being has greed. That's why even the animals don't like other animals in the same kind come to their borders. That survival based thing, right? So now, you know the Pali word loba, but loba is twofold in Buddhism. Next time when someone asks you, can you tell me about loba, greed? Loba in the Dhamma is twofold. What are the twofold loba? You can say greed, but what kind of greed do we have in our life? Greed with regard to what I have. Maybe money, maybe education, maybe reputation, maybe my own views, sentimental stuff, family. So that is abhijja. Okay. And then what about the visamalobha? Visamalobha means greed about what other people have. We call it visamalobha. It's a bit of abnormal kind of lobha. Is it not enough for us to be greedy for what we have? Why we are going to be greedy for what other people have? There's no any sense to do that, right? So the Buddha said in the Pathakama Sutta, if you are a layperson, if you really want to be wise, then the first thing you need to do is that try to overcome the specific greeds, two types of greed. One is the greed that you have with regard to what you have, and the greed that you may have for what other people have. Tanha, jealousy, issa, they all are ripple effects of these two. Right? When the greed is intensified through what you call abhijja, visamalobha, it will transform into a craving. Kama tanha, bhava tanha, vibhava tanha. Right? That's the first thing. Are you doing that time to time in your life? What is your attitude about what you are possessing at the moment? I mean, let us be practical about what we are talking now. Yes, make it scriptural too. What is the attitude that do you have with regard to your possessions? Pathakama, yes?
But are you saying that the greed is like you have and then you want more? That kind of greed?
Well,
Yeah.
well, there is no mention about the want here. Here, what it means is that you already have certain things. You don't need a lot of things to be greedy, right? Let's say you have $10. You can be greedy about the $10. It's not about $1,000,000 at that point. So here it does, because that is the Western way to look at the greed. In the West, they talk about you have needs, you have wants. So try to minimize your wants, so you are good. But Buddhism says Buddhism does not size up greed with regard to I mean different kind of needs and wants.
So in this case, it's like if you are greedy, like you have something and you don't want to give it up, so you want to retain.
No, it doesn't
that.
mean you have to give up. It doesn't mean you have to give. It means whether you have the right view with regard to what you have. That is what is meant by abhijja and visamadhu. So Buddhist, now Western way to look at, like Socratic way, Western philosophical way to look at of greed is, if you have wants, that means you are greedy. If you have things that you are planning to achieve more than your needs, that means you are greedy. That is a Western way to look at it. But the Buddhist way is, Buddhism does not look at how many things you are going to have. I mean, is there a number of needs that I have to fulfill in my life? Yes, there are basic needs. But Buddhism looks at greed from an attitude. It doesn't matter whether you go for the needs or wants. Actually, people are going for the wants, right? We cannot stop them. We cannot say that it's not good for them, but they know what they are supposed to think about. Buddhism is looking at the greed in a context where whether you have the proper attitude with regard to what you own at this point. I think that's a very important thing. We all own, even a beggar owns stuff. Even a
So it's
homeless person is carrying certain things in the street.
Trying not to be clinging
It's
to what you
attitude.
have, attached, Bhante.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, when you have tanha, then clinging automatically arises. That's a what you call a synthetic process, right? So now I'm gonna tell you, lobha, and the lobha will be functioning within two aspects: abhijja visamalobha, and through abhijja visamalobha, lobha is going to be intensified, and then it will become a tanha. And then when you have tanha, that tanha will become a upadana or clinging. And then all the problems are arising at that point. Now, the most important thing here is that not what you have. You may be a millionaire, or you may be a beggar, homeless person on the streets. It doesn't matter. Yes, what matters is that, yes, you understand it might be my karma, it might be my effort. But what Buddhism uh, asks us to do is that whether you have the right attitude with regard to what you own, what you belong. Think about, one family has 10 children, another family has one child. But that second family who has one child has a lot of, abhijja for that child. Maybe that son is the only son, that daughter is the only daughter. Maybe for the family who have 10, it might be different. It might be the same, it might be different. So it doesn't matter the number. What matters is that whether you have the right attitude with regard to this. So try to develop the right attitude. What is the right attitude? You need things, your requisites, your needs. And if you want to go for more things, that is your choice. There's no prohibition from Buddhism. If you want to make more money, if you want to enjoy more, if you want to travel more, no problem. There's no prohibition. But have you been developing the right attitude with regard to what you are enjoying in your life? That is something important, right? So that is why abhijja. Then visamalobha, that's definitely a very distorted version of lobha, right? That means there's someone who is very much greedy about what other people have. Now, what will happen to someone when that person is greedy? Jealousy is arising. Can you give me one example for visamalobha? The person A is greedy for person B's stuff, possessions, maybe money, maybe people. What could be a good example in our practical life? Can share. Any thoughts?
Robber, Bhante,
Robert?
who wish to have the other people's things, and do it wrongly, drop it.
Yeah, that's also an example for this. Yes, but normally when someone has visamalobha, the person cannot necessarily get it sometimes, for the most part. Sometimes it will stay as a thought, an emotion. Robbers, they are not stopped, right? They do everything to get that, right? in a good way or bad way, right? Yes, we can say there is a kind of visamaloba that the thieves are carrying. But can we talk about people in general? Do they have visamaloba in their own way within their lives? And can you share with me one visamaloba? I mean, you don't have to personalize anybody, just a general example. Siblings, what is that? Siblings
We can share.
dispute over parents' property.
Mm.
Okay. Visamaloba. Okay, that means family, but that family have a couple of children, and maybe they are trying to eye on another sibling's inheritance. Then, as a Buddhist, you must have written a will before you pass away, right? We discussed that in the paññā-sampadā. Don't die without writing a will if you have inheritance. Why is it? If you don't do that, that shows that you never thought you would die one day. Right. Because Buddhists, they are always talking about Marananusati. They always say everything is impermanent. So if everything is impermanent, do the right thing. Right thing is you plan your life. Why you just only talk about it?
Yeah.
Just talk about death is coming to us anytime we can die. So if we can die anytime, then do the
Right.
necessary things. So then, when mother, father do that, children have a what do you call hassle-free time to understand, not to quarrel on over each other's thing, right? That is one example. Another example,
Holding things things
hold.
that you want to share.
No. Here we are talking that someone is greedy about somebody else's stuff.
Oh.
Visamaloba is that.
Oh.
Think about there's A. A thinks that B is prettier than her. Think about it.
Can I share?
This is like a
Can I
normal
share?
example. Yes, I mean this example. A thinks that B is prettier than me, so I'm greedy about that. I wish I were that person, and vice versa. Yes, who's the other one? Want to share? Please share.
My
name Evan.
My name is Evan. Like example, like you being
You
greedy.
could be the youngest participant here. How old are you?
10. Next
Okay.
week is my birthday.
Oh, birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to share something about it?
If you're being greedy, it's like a house of call of food, like example like that.
Food that you see being enjoyed by other people.
Yeah, like a beggar. If your beggar is like begging for food, they won't give.
Yeah. So because,
And they're gonna be greedy after that, and you're gonna take people's stuff, and like
Mhm.
it's based on stealing.
Okay, great. And any others?
Vying for a colleague's position in the company.
That means when other colleagues doing well, especially getting positions, and the person who is watching that, assuming that the person is not able to get that same position, there is a kind of greed that can happen. And the manifested level of this greed is called jealousy. And through jealousy, someone will display this visamaloba. So as lay people, keep in mind, your wisdom in the first place is abhijja visamaloba. I mean, if you can get rid of abhijja visamaloba as much as you can, you are very good in that paññā. You are wise. If wisdom is fivefold, 20%. I mean, because there are 5 things, just like exactly Kelvin mentioned, those 5 things. Then 20% of your wisdom already arose, right? And the next one is abhijja visamaloba, vichikiccha. Vichikiccha means doubts. What kind of doubts? Spiritual doubts. Doubts about Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, life, right? That means creating more trust about life and with the people you are sharing your life. Are we creating trust with the people who are sharing our life every day? Are we creating more insecurity with those people that we are sharing life? What is happening? We are supposed to create more trust. Can the trust be, I mean, happening, or maybe is it possible trust to happen easily without maybe understanding each other, maybe clarity of the speech, maybe sometimes some compromises, sometimes understanding, right? So in order for trust to happen, there are things that one has to do, right? And if you don't know Dhamma things, you have to ask, right? I think we discussed that in the Chulakamma Vibhanga Sutta. If you never ask the proper Dhamma questions, so it's rest assured that you will be very, very unwise in the next life. So grab the opportunity, ask the proper Dhamma question. Why to become unwise as a matter of this? So then trying to clarify the doubts. On the other hand, what if you could not ask, you could not clarify your Dhamma questions? What would happen to you? Then you would carry these questions to the next life. I think it's a backlog. You can't clear it easily. Right? But if you die without asking proper Dhamma questions, you bring it back to the next life, carry forward, and there is a huge backlog of Dhamma questions, and then never be able to solve, because you don't know whether you will find the right person to ask the questions to. Right? So Vicikiccha. So you need to clarify. Third thing that what you're supposed to do for being wise in lay life, Abhijja Visamalobha number 1. You can see Kelvin already mentioned, share Abhijja Visamalobha. Vicikiccha is the 5th one. Second one is Vyapada. Vyapada means try to reduce the ill will. Does ill will matter to us in our life? Why does anger rise within us all the time? If anger is arising that much, I mean, I hope that you are more, competent in handling those things like dosa compared to previous back, right? So, Vyapada means ill will. What is ill will? May I know? Very
Bad
basic question.
intention.
Anger.
Bad
Wish,
intention.
wish people harm. Wish,
Ah.
harm.
Wishing suffering for someone, right? Wishing suffering for someone. And also, basically wishing suffering, right? Can Buddhists wish suffering on anybody?
No.
Can any human wish suffering for anybody? I think it's a
Sometimes.
basic thing, right? Not even a Buddhist thing. Where did the Buddha ask us not to wish suffering on anybody?
Form Brahma Vihara, Bhante.
No, Metta Sutta.
Practice the
Metta
form Brahma
Sutta.
Vihara.
Bhante, Metta Sutta.
Oh, Metta Sutta. Where did the Buddha say the Metta Sutta? How many of you?
11 benefits of the
Vyaro Sanya Patika Sanya.
Mhm. Yeah, that's not the exact place though. What's the exact Pali line for that in the Metta Sutta? How many of you chant Metta Sutta every day? At least once in a while?
Yeah, once.
Once?
Sometimes once, sometimes always.
Sometimes once, sometimes always. Right? Interesting habit.
Young follower.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I mean, I'm asking the other, those, adult participants, how often do you chant Metta Sutta?
Bhante, I chant every day.
Every day.
Every day. Thank you.
And then others?
Every day also, every day.
every day. And you turn to every day now. Okay, good. And others don't chant Metta Sutta, or you waiting until a Sangha member is to chant for you? Why you wait for the Sangha members to chant you? They will chant you, but where is your practice? It's better to chant this sutta. Only when you chant, you will understand the meaning. Right? Only when you do it, you will be curious about what is this sutta talking about. So where did the Buddha exactly say that never wish suffering for anybody? Nanya manyasa dukkha miccheya. It's a very clear Pali line. Naparo paranni kuppet. Nati manyeta katta chinang kanchi.
Kanchi.
Vyarosana patiga sanya. Nanya manyasa dukkha miccheya. Na anyang dukkhang iccheya. Never like dukkha, suffering on anybody. Now, we have so many dukkha, why we wish dukkha on anybody, right? So, no point of wishing anyone dukkha. But when you look at today's world, what is happening on social media, on news? Are people wishing suffering on others? They do, right? In politics, right-wing people wish suffering on left-wing people, left-wing people wish suffering on right-wing people, right? This is happening. Although we know it as a fractional knowledge here, it's happening. That's why we have to be very careful. You don't ever contribute to that kind of a situation in your life. Because the Buddha said you can never wish suffering on anybody. Those are our basics. Our basics, huh? They are not something that you are going to learn in a very, very deep sutta. Not wishing suffering is a basic quality of a Buddhist. It's not a very sophisticated quality of a Buddhist, right? So now Vyapada has to be overcome. First, Abhijja Visamalova have to be overcome. Second, Vyapada has to be overcome. Then third, Tina Midda. Tina Midda means laziness. As the follower of the Buddha, do you feel sometimes very lethargic, very lazy? And then you don't want to think about anything?
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. I mean, what is your understanding about it? It is a normal thing, right? We can become lazy, but the Buddha said, never become lazy to practice the Dhamma. You can become lazy. You might not eat your breakfast. I'm lazy today. I don't want to cook something for today morning, right? But maybe you will grab your lunch to compensate that. What if that you are saying, no, today I cannot practice Dhamma. I'm very lazy today. What would happen to you? The
I'll
moment
become
that
a
you're
lazy
deciding as-
boy. Then I'll become a lazy boy.
what would happen to us?
We will do more akusala things.
That is the
Bhante.
moment that you are creating a certain space for akusala. That's why we have to be very careful. In that moment of inviting laziness to be a part of the journey, daily journey, then you are creating a space for akusalas to arise, right? So that means you might be a lazy for certain other things, daily chores, but it's okay. But if you are trying to postpone, if you are trying to become lazy with regard to your daily meditation, daily chanting, learning some Dhamma thing, trying to be mindful in talking to somebody, trying to be grateful for what you have, counting on your blessings, then what will happen? That moment is the moment you are inviting a huge blind spot area for akusalas. Never know what akusalas will come to you. So that's why Ti-Namitta. Ti-Namitta means laziness with regard to your thoughts and laziness with regard to your mental factors. Chitta, Chetasika. Chitta means our energy to take a thought, and Chetasika means the quality of that thought. Now, the moment that you become jealous, have you ever thought, now my quality of that thought is not good? Have you ever given that thought to you? The moment you become angry or jealous or maybe frustrated, have you ever thought to yourself, this thought that I'm going through now has no good quality because it lacks kusala element. And then Chetasika. Chitta, Chetasika together create the cognition. Right? So be watchful about your spiritual laziness. Right? That's the third one. And the fourth one, Uddacha Kukucha. Uddacha means restlessness in your cognition. Right? How can we become restless in our thinking, cognition? This is a problem with regard to focusing, right? What will happen to you when you are stressed out? Can you focus yourself? You are very stressed out, one by one. There are a lot of work that you're supposed to do. And then you are very depressed. You are behind the day. You are behind activities, right? You are very behind the time, and then now you are going to drive to a certain place, lot of traffic, and you are very mad at everybody, right? Whose problem is that? Is it the traffic problem or is your problem? You could not get into the road in time. Now you are blaming everybody, right? So that means if we are not able to be concentrated due to stress, depression, anxiety, some other phobias, issues, then what will happen? We are not able to create our kusala states. Can someone think about kusala states when they are very stressed out? It's very difficult. They will do it on the surface value, but it's very difficult, right? So that's why it's very important to understand our restlessness. And then kukucha, uddacha kukucha. Kukucha means regrets, remorse. So how to minimize remorse, regret?
Don't think about it.
Make wise decisions, right, in our life. Where do we learn how to do the wise decisions? Mangala Sutta. Mangala Sutta clearly tells us this is how you have to make your wise choices in your life. How did the Buddha start the wise choices? Always try to be surrounded with the Kalyana Mitta, I would say Sappurisas. Try to stay away from Balas. Not even that. Buddha even said, find a suitable locality. Patirupa Desava Socha. Don't stay in a neighborhood where there are a lot of crimes happening, right? Location also matters sometimes. So there are 38 blessings that we can create through our wise choices. Think about, many people don't have these wise choices. For whatever the reason, we can't blame anybody. For whatever the reasons, they have not been able to make these choices, wise choices. Without making those wise choices, they are trying to understand certain things. So when you make the right choices, you are less likely to be affected with the kukucha. That means regret, remorse. And the last one is vichikiccha, is it? Now think about, in order to discuss about paññā-sampadā paññā-sampadā, we almost spent half an hour. Now that is why, because if you could remember all that, we could have saved that time. Now you know that Paṭṭhakamma talks about wisdom for the lay people in 5 ways. Next time, when you want to understand what did the Buddha teach us about wisdom in the Paṭṭhakamma, he asks us to overcome avijja, visamalobha. Avijja means greed about what I have. Visamalobha means greed about the greed I have because I'm greedy about what other people have. Avijja, visamalobha, that is one. Then vyapada, ill will. Then tinamitta. Then uddacha kukucha and vichikiccha. Okay. Today, we are going to learn what did the Buddha say to Dīghajāṇu, Vyagapacca, about paññā-sampadā. So I want you to understand the both. Okay. So cross-check the both side, and then you will know paññā-sampadā much, much better. Okay, let's take a look at the note first. Okay. Paññā-sampadā, accomplishment of wisdom. Now, paññā also has to be accomplished. Why it is a sampada? May I know? Why it is not just paññā? Why paññā has become a sampada? Why saddha was a sampada? Why sila was a sampada? Why chaga was a sampada? Why not saddha, sila, chaga? That's a very good question. Why it is sampada? Sampada means
You have to achieve.
accomplish. Sometimes we work on it, but then
We can't.
we are behind that progress. So somewhere in our journey, we are behind because of our activities, our choices, our activities, right? So sampada means we have to accomplish that thing. Not that today you are going to overcome those 5 or something that we are learning from Dīghajāṇu. So tomorrow you are totally forgetful about that. And then again, next Friday, yeah, Sutta discussion at 8:30. You come back again and then you have an instant Dharma hit, what do you call? Like a very, very instant Dharma hit. Again, you will think about it. What did I learn last week? It has to be a committed activity for yourself. So it has to be accomplished. If you take it in your other way, have you accomplished in your life? That's a very good question. You might not be able to answer, perhaps. Have you accomplished within your own pursuits? So then, just like how you think about accomplishing your life, what if your spiritual journey? Don't always go back to Sota. I'm not yet a Sotapanna. I'm not accomplished. No, don't go to that level faster. At least in your lay life, have you accomplished? No, you can only accomplish your lay life if you accomplish these 8. 4 for this life, 4 for the next life. These are your accomplishments, nothing else. You have to accomplish in Saddha, you have to accomplish in Sila, you have to accomplish in Chaga, and today Paññā. So that's why it is a Sampada, not just Paññā. Right? Stay. Okay, may I ask someone to read this part, the paññā-sampada's statement? Please raise your virtual hand. Anybody? Okay, there are 2. Who would like to read? Is it Paduma or Pochuan?
Okay, let Pochuan read. Bhante,
It's
let
okay.
Pochuan read.
Sister Paduma, you go ahead.
Okay. Okay, please.
Okay then. Okay then. Katamacha Vyagapaja paññā-sampadā. Itta Vyagapaja Kulaputo Paññava Bhuti. Udaya Tagaminiya Paññāya.
Not Udaya, Udayat.
Udayata Gaminiya Paññāya Samanyagato Aryaya Nivedikaya Sama Dukkha Kagaminiya Ayam Vuchati Vyagapaja paññā-sampadā.
It's not Vyagapaja, Vyagapaja.
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 Vyagapaja. Okay, great.
Vyagapaja. Thank you, Bhante.
Katamacha Vyagapaja paññā-sampadā. Ida Vyagapaja Kulaputto Paññava hoti. Udayatta Gaminiya Paññā. Very interesting phrase here. Paññā is referred to a very interesting attitude. This is the very, what you call the lofty attitude with regard to Paññā for the lay people. Udayatta Gaminiya. Paññā samannāt. Ariyaya Nibbedikaya. Samma Dukkakkaya Gaminiya. Ayam Uchati Vyagapaja paññā-sampadā. Let's take a look. This part is very clear to all of you because we've done that. Katamacha, what is Vyagapaja? the accomplishment of wisdom. Here, Bhakapajja, Kulaputtu, householder, is wise. What kind of wisdom? Udayatta gaminiya paññā. Udayatta. What does it mean by Udayatta gaminiya? Udaya atta, right? Udaya atta. What does Udaya atta mean? Udaya means rise. Maybe I'm going to do this way. Udaya means rise. And atta means fall. Udayatta gaminiya paññā. What kind of rise and fall? With wisdom that leads to rise and fall. The wisdom that goes to the arising and passing away of sankharas. The lay person, now having practiced the 5 things, especially to overcome those 5 things, now the lay person has becoming wise. That is not enough. The lay person has to pay attention to the arising and passing of the sankharas. Now, how to understand this? What is sankhara here? Is sankhara having one meaning, or sankhara has many meanings, multiple meanings?
Many meanings, Bhante.
Sankhara is one of the concepts that has so many meanings. Be very careful.
Aggregates.
When you learn that, you have to be very careful. What context of sankhara are we talking now? What are the other words like that?
Phenomena.
No. I mean, what are the other Pali concepts? Just like
Metta.
sankhara, which has many meanings.
Mental formation.
No. I'm trying to say that just like the words Pali words sankhara, there are so many other Pali words that carry concept which exhibit many meanings. Sankhara is one of them.
Yeah. What Bhante, what about metta or dhamma?
Dhamma is a very good example. Dhamma has so many meanings.
Yes, dhamma.
Sankhara. What else?
Metta.
Metta is more specific actually. There may be one or two, but more specific. But compared to Dhamma and Sankhara, there's a
Dhamma.
vast difference.
Yeah.
Dhamma, Bhante.
Karma.
Dhamma is also very specific, like mostly specific. The concept is a little bit, cryptic, controversial, but there is a specific meaning. Another word is Vijnana. Vijnana is another Pali concept. Because what Vijnana are you talking about? Are you talking about this Vijnana or the Vijnana that will go to another body? So this way, there are so many Pali words that carry different meaning. So then what should you do? When you meet this kind of a Pali word, what should you do? How do you understand that? You have to read the preceding paragraph of the sutta and then the following paragraph of the sutta. Say, for instance, I will give you an example. Let us go to Dīghajāṇu Sutta here, the Pali version. Dīghajāṇu Sutta is very clear. I mean, I'm just trying to show you an example. Can you see the screen here? Not yet. Okay. Can you see the screen now?
Chat.
Okay. Let's say the problematic concept word is here in this paragraph. Now, how do I understand this particular concept? I know this is a very familiar word, but how to understand? I have to read at least 1 to 2 paragraphs before that particular statement. And then also at least 1 to 2 paragraphs follow into that particular Dhamma paragraph. Sometimes we cannot even understand by reading. So then what to do? We have to read a couple other suttas about that concept.
Nice chat with your dad. Huh?
So that means it is a process. That's why you need to consult someone who has a thorough knowledge about the Dhamma, who has read widely about it, not 1 or 2 suttas. So, sankhara basically means conditioned phenomena. What are the conditioned phenomena? Are we conditioned? Are we conditioned? I think the better question is, how much are you conditioned? Not are we conditioned? Yes, definitely. We are conditioned. How much are we conditioned? We are conditioned by many factors, genetically and environmentally. Basically speaking, these are the two aspects. Now, that is a scientific way of, maybe psychological way of explaining that conditioning. What about karma, sansaric values, sansaric habits, and the karma? We have been so much conditioned. And what about other things except me, except you? Are they conditioned too? Is this Zoom platform conditioned now?
Yes.
Is it static or dynamic? Is the Zoom static or dynamic? Is the internet static or dynamic?
Dynamic.
They are dynamic. They are changing every moment. How do we know that they are changing? That's why we are being recorded on Facebook. I mean, there is an output. We are being exported into a recording. And people are watching us. And the people who are watching on Facebook, they are also conditioned. Being conditioned, they are seeing other people being conditioned with being on many conditioned platforms. What do we mean by condition? There is nothing independent in this phenomena. Everything is dependent upon something. Does it make clear? We all are dependent upon anything. We are not independent in that. In our life, we could say I am independent compared to somebody. That is with regard to my choices. But my overall structure, my mental phenomena, they all are conditioned. Then can you think about our enlightenment one day? Nibbana. What is Nibbana with regard to conditioned phenomena? Is it conditioned?
Condition, unconditioned.
It is said the only unconditioned thing in this life, in this sansaric life, is Nibbana. Why? If Nibbana is conditioned, then Nibbana should condition to another condition. So Nibbana decondition the conditions. Very interesting. When someone comes to Nibbana, then Nibbana state deconditions the condition. That's why people are thinking about the enlightenment part. So there are pros and cons. So here the Buddha is asking people to think about, lay people to think about, understand conditions in your life. When you know the conditions and how are you being conditioned, and how is the condition, how are the conditions making other things conditioned, then you are living peacefully. Now, can you tell me that kind of a situation? The more you understand your conditions behind what is happening in your life, the more peaceful you are. May I know one example from your life?
Bhante, can we say cause and effect?
Yeah.
Can we say cause
Yeah.
and
Conditions mean conditions make causes to become effect. Conditions make effects to become causes. So it's vice versa thing. But people don't understand this is from cause and effect. They understand condition, upanisaya, upachaya. Can you tell me one condition that you would like to learn spiritually? Perhaps this is kind of a negative situation in your life. You know that if you could know a little bit more than how you react to that, your life could have been much, much peaceful.
Nothing is permanent, Bhante.
Yes, yeah, that's one thing. Restless due to too much worry. That's a very interesting one. Worries. Can we become easily positive in our life? Can we become easily worried in our life? What is the probability of us to become worried and happy? I think we have so many conditions to become worried. Why is it? Just like Barbara said, everything is impermanent. So we are worried about everything, right? Because everything is impermanent. Isn't it? right? That's the biggest problem. If everything is impermanent, then we are worried.
Overthinking.
No. I mean, I'm not saying that is a wrong choice. That is what the suttas are talking. But we have to understand that thing properly. Think about the impermanence in our life. Tomorrow, there is a chance that we may die. Even now, we may die. But what if you are thinking this all the time? I can die anytime. I can die anytime. I can die anytime. Can you even live this moment?
Maybe.
You will never be able to live in this moment. The understanding is that, yes, I know I will die, but I need to be ambitious spiritually. Then I can handle that impermanence.
Samvega.
Huh?
Samvega. Sense of urgency.
Well, Samvega is a word that has been made by the commentarial tradition later on to talk about spiritual urgency. But we have to be holistically ambitious in our life. What if that you are always thinking negatively about your daily activities? It can happen anytime. It can happen. Yes, I mean, we understand it can happen anytime. But what if you have the right view all the time? Then even if that happens in the next moment, you should be okay. That's why the Buddha is always saying, although you do a lot of good karmas, but if you don't have the right view, it will affect your next life. So, so that's something that we need to understand with regard to spending the day without, as Kim said, overthinking can become a problem. Sometimes we are overthinking the Dhamma concepts. We have a problem. We are sometimes overthinking Dhamma concept, or we are oversimplifying the Dhamma concepts. So we have to understand how to keep the Dhamma journey going without oversimplifying or overthinking about them. How to bring that Dhamma positively into the life. So the Buddha said here, under the paññā-sampadā, lay people should be able to see the conditions with regard to arising and passing away. That is exactly impermanence. I would say changes and changeabilities. There was a morning today, and now we are in the evening, and there is a morning coming up. These changes, starting from these changes, and life, everything should be able to be looked at through arising and passing ability. So that is called Udayatta. Let's see. Udayatta Gaminiya Paññā. This is a paññā. So do we have this wisdom in our life?
A little bit.
Have you been able to see things arising, people arising, things are happening for a short time and then vanishing,
Yeah.
disappearing? This is called a certain paññā.
Oh.
Udayatta Gamini Paññā.
Mhm.
So as you practice the 5 things according to the Paṭṭhākama Sutta, now here you are going to fine tune that paññā-sampadā through practicing Udayatta Gamini Paññā. And then Ariyaya Nibbedikāya Samma Dukkakkaya Gaminiya Ayang Uchchati Vyakapacca. Nibbedikāya, penetrative, breaking open, going through the heart of things. This characteristic of wisdom does not skim the surface. It pierces through the aggregates and formation to see their conditional nature, their origination and cessation. Normally, Nibbedaya means frustration, but this Nibbedikāya means penetrative wisdom. Have you ever learned a sutta called Nibbedika Sutta? Where is it mentioned? In the Anguttara Nikaya. This sutta is about penetrative wisdom. Now, there are 2 types of wisdom here. One is Nibbedika wisdom, the other one being Udayatta Gamini wisdom that lay people have to cultivate. Nibbedika wisdom means being able to look at certain aspects of anything, such as how did anything start and what was the reason, what is the diversity of that particular activity, right? And how will it be able to end, right? These are the penetrative wisdom. So, and finally, Dūkkhakkaya-gāminiya. So all these two types of wisdom lead the layperson to destruction of the disciple. Dūkkhakkaya-gāmi. Dūkkhakkaya. Kaya means ending. This is called paññā-sampadā according to the Dīghajāṇu Sutta. So lay people have to understand Udayatta-gāmini paññā, whether they have it or not, and Nibbedika paññā. If you look at it in a full translation level, Vyagapajja is the accomplishment of wisdom. Here Vyagapajja, a clansman, householder, layperson, is wise. What kind of wisdom? Endowed with the wisdom that discerns the rise and fall with regard to sankhara, noble and penetrative wisdom, leading rightly to the complete destruction of dissatisfaction. This is called accomplishment of wisdom. Now, what are the two types of wisdom that Buddha is asking lay people to practice here? The wisdom that the layperson is able to see the arising and passing away of conditioned phenomena, conditions of conditioned phenomena. Second one, the wisdom whereby a layperson can penetrate that particular thing, that particular phenomena, right? So these are the two types of wisdom that layperson should be able to practice in order to accomplish the wisdom. Now, let us take a look at some of the very important insights about this paññā-sampadā. Number one, wisdom as awareness of arising and passing away. May I know what is this here? Udayatta-gāmini paññā. Now, Dīghajāṇu context, lay wisdom is not book learning only, but seeing the world realistically, how wealth, pleasure, and even family relations are subject to change. Now, we can use a cross-reference. Mahasatipatthana Sutta, Satipatthana Sutta teaches us mindfulness of arising and ceasing, right? A householder saves wisely knowing fortune rise and fall, just as emotions do. For example, when business is booming, wisdom says this prosperity too will pass. This guards against arrogance and prepares one for downturns. So that means when someone is able to understand arising and passing away, that kind of wisdom is helpful for the layperson to be patient when the person is going to be successful and when the person is going to go through a struggle, right? So Udayatta-gāmini paññā is that. Maybe I'm going to read the notes perhaps as a summary, not everything. Maybe we will have a discussion after that. Wisdom as penetrative vision in daily concerns. This is what we discuss as Nibbedika paññā. The Buddha speaks to Kulaputta, Dīghajāṇu, son of good family, immersed in social and economic life. Such a person needs penetrative wisdom to see beyond surface success. Beyond surface success. What does it mean by beyond surface success? What is the surface success? When someone is achieving one's life, that particular person might think this could be the only success I'm making. But the Buddha is asking lay people to think beyond that surface success. Money, maybe wealth, reputation, this shall pass at a certain point. I mean, thinking that in a penetrative way, that will help the layperson to become wise and make the right decisions with regard to those achievements. Wisdom that ends suffering, dissatisfaction, not just manages it. Paññā is Samma Dukkhakkaya Gamini. It leads not merely to better worldly management, but to an inner peace untouched by circumstance. This is what we mean by Udayatta Gamini Paññā. Nibbedika Paññā finally lead even the layperson to enlightenment. Wisdom means wealth and responsibility. The Sutta balances prosperity with ethics, what you call Ti-Ratana. Wisdom is needed to ensure worldly gain does not become a source of ruin. That's a very interesting thing. I think the cross-reference is Igaluwa the Sutta. Right? So, just like ethics are very necessary for all of us. Right? I think we discussed that, Ti-Ratana, right? Ethics are very important. But ethics without wisdom could be a devastation, right? May I know an example? You practice 5 precepts every day, but you don't have wisdom about it. Then how would you survive in that journey? You always think that no killing, no stealing, no sexual misbehavior, no lying, and no intoxication. But if somebody is to ask you, why are you doing the 5 precepts? What is the reason why you are doing it? I don't know. I go to the temple. The monks told me to take precept. That's why I'm here. Maybe I'm a Buddhist. That's not the answer. That's why you don't have wisdom. You only have Sila-Sampada. That's why the Buddha added another one called paññā-sampadā. Right? Then can I know why you are taking the 5 precepts? Very good question, right? On the surface level, it can be a basic question, but I think it is the most important question now. May I know why you are taking 5 precepts?
You purify for purification purpose, Bhante.
Purification purpose. Then others also might have a reason to take 5 precepts, right? They can't help not talking now. I mean, purification is one reason. Why are you taking 5 precepts?
Deepen our
Huh?
Guideline.
guideline
for mindfulness.
Guidelines for mindfulness.
Follow the Buddhist practice. The
Follow.
Buddha's practice.
Yes.
to deepen our
Good morality. Good morality for our practice.
It helps in our meditation practice, Bhante.
Meditation. Can you give me a very specific answer to this?
Not to harm others.
Yeah, I mean, it's included. It's implied, included. Of course, we understand that. Why are you taking 5? Because your Dhamma journey includes Sila, Samadhi, Paññā, 3 things. That's why as a part of Sila, you take it because you want to go to Samadhi and you want to go to Paññā. That means it looks like that you have not been able to understand your whole Dhamma journey. Your Dhamma journey has 3 things, not 1 thing. So then what's the answer? My spiritual journey, which means Noble Eightfold Path. What is inside the Noble Eightfold Path? Sila, Samadhi, Paññā. Right? Nothing else. So then in order for me to follow my Dhamma journey, Buddha told me that I have to practice 3 things, not only 5 precepts. 5 precepts is Sila for you. And then Samadhi means my concentration practice, mindfulness, whatever the meditation you are doing. And thereby, I don't want to stop at Samadhi. Why? If I stop at Samadhi, I and Hindu people don't have any difference, Hindu ascetics. I want to become wise in my life. I want to think beyond than other people. I want to be able to see things as they are or as they come to be. All these are part of my Dhamma journey. So next time when someone asks you, why are you taking 5 precepts? You need to give that broader answer. What's the broader answer? My Dhamma journey. Your Dhamma journey includes 3 things. Sila, Samadhi, Paññā. Not Sila only. And understand they are reciprocating each other. They are circling around each other. They are not like stand-alone practices. For many Buddhists, Sila is a stand-alone. Sila is enough. No Samadhi. Only when I'm free, I do Samadhi. That's the problem. So sila leads to samadhi. Samadhi leads to paññā. But sila, samadhi, paññā must be practiced simultaneously. Right?
Bhante, how about the dana, sila, and bhavana?
Okay, dana, sila, bhavana is given on another note. That classification comes according to the meritorious activities of the people. But when people are asking, tell me an easy way to concentrate about my meritorious life, I do dana, practice sila, and practice bhavana. But it doesn't mean paññā. Where is the paññā? The most important one. That is inside sila, samadhi, paññā classification. Normally, if you read suttas, you will understand the most important or maybe the prime classification about the Dhamma journey is sila, samadhi, paññā. And now you know where is dana belong to. Where is
Sila.
dana belong to in the Noble Eightfold Path?
Sila.
Sila.
No, dana is not in the sila. Now
Paññā.
we have to go back to the Noble Eightfold Path.
Right intention.
See,
Right view.
where is dana belong to in the, then now if someone asks you why you giving dana,
Oh,
then-
nekama.
Generosity.
yeah, let me tell you. When someone asks you, just like you were asked just a while ago, why do you practice 5%? Then now you know what to answer next time. In the same way, if someone asks, why are you giving dana? Don't give very normal answers. I want to do dana. It's a good thing. I want to make dana for next life. Those are very basic answers, not very specific answers. You have to give a Dhamma answer for that question. Then they will ask you, why did the Buddha ask you to give dana? Because next life, because now I am happy, eating good, living well because I gave dana. That's a very basic answer, right? But the Buddha has clearly told us, why do we need to give dana? And that must be connected to one of the path factors in the Noble Eightfold Path. In essence, that it represents either sila, either samadhi or paññā.
Generosity.
What is the noble path factor which the Buddha discussed dana? Sammaditthi, the first one.
Right view.
Yes.
view.
Sammaditthi. In Sammaditthi, Buddha said, give dana, give small dana, give large dana, believe karma. Karma is coming under first one, samma. That Sammaditthi is part of wisdom. Then that means the most important classification with regard to our Dhamma practice is Sila, Samadhi, Paññā. Because dana is an activity not you create in the next life. It is a paññā activity. That's why the Buddha said, when you give dana, don't think about next life, what I'm going to get it, right? And this and that. Then you are cheapening your dana. You are not practicing in the proper way, chaga way. When you give dana, think about this is something that helps me to purify my views. Sammaditthi. That's why I'm doing dana. Right? So try to, find out little bigger things that you are doing within the Sila, Samadhi, Paññā, in the broader sense, Noble Eightfold Path. Okay. So that's why the Buddha said, practicing Sila is not enough. Why? Paññā must appear. When you practice Sila, practice it with wisdom. Otherwise, there's no point in making dana. Right? So may I know why are you giving dana? Now tell me the proper answer. Because I want to be wise. Only when I give dana, I can develop wisdom. How can I develop wisdom by giving dana? I am giving dana by giving up greed with regard to what I give to the Sangha members or whoever in my life. Even I give something to one of my friends. Even I help someone. I'm not going to think about it again. I just gave it. Whether they help me or not, it's okay.
Mm.
Before I engage in that activity, I already given up my what do you call? ROI plans. I have no ROI plans, return of investment or transactional plans. But what is happening to many? They have a lot of ROI, lot of transactional plans, and they engaging. When people don't pay them back, they are not happy. And they are losing dana effects. No wonder. And they are sharing, we are giving dana for 20 years, but still our life is not good. What's happening to me? You are chanting every day. Maybe the Buddha is not looking at us. Right? You are not doing it in the proper way. So don't expect that. I mean, you have to expect it in that way. So that's why the Buddha said, before you doing anything good for other people, give up the return perspective and then do it. You will never become harmed. Right? But if it is too much money, too much stuff, then be careful whom are you going to support. But normal things, give it up and help. You will be very happy about that dana. Otherwise, that dana will become the suffering of your life. Why I was not supported back by these people, right? So Buddha said ethics are not enough. Ethics must be practiced with wisdom. All right, wisdom balanced with compassionate conduct. Compassion is very, very important for us. That's why Buddha asks us to be very compassionate. Nowadays, you can see people are becoming less compassionate. They think the knowledge is the most important thing, especially our new young generations. I mean, this is something a problem, especially I mean, trying to what do you call? Trying to decide how much compassion I should have. But the Buddha said our compassion is borderless, conditionless kind of compassion. That's a very important. That's why every morning Buddha is not doing the metta. Right? Metta is a normal thing. What did the Buddha do every morning and evening?
Scanning the world to see
So
who
why
he can
did
help.
he want to scan
See
the
who he can help.
compassion, great compassion,
Compassion.
Mahakaruna?
Mm.
Every morning and every evening he is looking at out of great compassion. Who do I support today? Are we doing that every day? Are we doing that compassion in our way? We may not be able to do it in the Buddha way.
Yes, we do. We do sometimes.
Or are we thinking who I'm going to trouble today or bug today? I mean, that's why people have to adjust their life into the Buddha's life in a way. Every morning, every evening, right? So compassion is, I think, one of the very important concepts that many people are losing in today's world, although they are very mindful. They practice meditation and everything, most of them, but sometimes we see they are not very compassionate, right? So that's something that we need to look at, compassion aspect. Wisdom, finally, it is a protective power to understand our downfalls and our Mangala part. Wisdom should be a direct experience in our life, should not make it a mere knowledge. Finally, wisdom as lifelong cultivation for growth in daily life. All right, any questions for paññā-sampadā today?
Bhante just now mentioned Buddha asked us to learn, Buddha gave us 2 types of wisdoms. So can Bhante explain again? The 2 types of wisdom.
Okay.
Then,
So
thank you.
in the Pathakama Sutta, which we discussed some time ago, Buddha asked lay people to basically overcome 5 things. I mean, if you look at it, 20%. I mean, if that wisdom is 100%, it's like 20%. Avijja, visama, lobha, vyapada, tina midda, uddhaca, kukkuca, vicikicca. But when he was discussing paññā, teaching paññā to Dīghajāṇu, he said not even these 5, because these 5 are implied definitely. He also said to Dīghajāṇu, you must cultivate, not even him, every lay person must cultivate 2 types of wisdoms. They are under the layperson's wisdom. One is Udayatta Gaminiya Paññā. That means layperson should be able to see the changes with regard to the condition phenomena. Whatever that is happening in our life, when people are changing their moods, when people are not happy with us, when people are happy with us, when we have a good time, when we have a bad time, right? In all these situations, there are conditions happening, right? What made that person to be happy? What made that person to be unhappy? So when we understand why it happened, how it arose, how it passed away, went away, then I am creating a wisdom called paññā-sampadā. That means wisdom that is based on understanding the nature of the sankhara. Second type of wisdom, actually this is coming under that layperson's wisdom, is that layperson should be able to penetrate the dynamics of his or her experiences. Say, for instance, now think about karma, think about sankhara, think about memories, think about anything in your life. Penetrate means you should be able to understand it from the bottom of that particular thing. Of course, this could be wise attention, yonaso manasikara, being able to look at it from the bottom of that, from the heart of that thing, if possible. When you do that, it will help you to understand life more. And make sense?
Okay, thank you so much, Bhante. Thank you.
Any other questions with regard to paññā-sampadā today? You may raise your virtual hand if you have a question.
Bhante, you were saying there were two types of wisdom, and this 7 is a breakdown of all the two, or number 1 or number 2 together. Or...
No, let me put it this way. Now, I mean, considering the paññā teachings we discussed about the lay people, so far we have discussed 3 types of paññā with regard to lay people. Three. Pattakama Sutta has 1. Today we talk about 2 types of paññā. Actually, these are what you call lay people's wisdom with regard to that inner nature of the wisdom that lay people are supposed to practice. The first one is being able to overcome those 5 akusalas, and the second being able to understand the dynamic nature of the sankharas. Third one being able to penetrate the different things with regard to any experience, sensory experience that one is going through. So this is how a layperson is going to practice and then accomplish wisdom.
Bhante, you mentioned this how the lay people is going to practice the wisdom. May I just ask, how about for the monastic? Is the wisdom very different?
What wisdom is that?
What is the types of wisdom meant for the monastic?
Monastic wisdom is coming out of practicing about the Noble Eightfold Path. Actually, their wisdom is more likely picked up by these 2. I mean, Udayattagamini and what you call Nibbedika.
Okay.
Yeah. So they are mostly onto that, and they have a lot of opportunities to practice that within their monastic practice, because we understand lay people and monks' life is different, right? So, yeah. And the question posed by Aliana, some mentors told me to observe these 2 wisdom in meditation practice. Do you mean these 2? The 2 that we discussed today?
Yes, Bhante.
Yes, I mean, definitely every layperson has to, not even these 2. Actually, you should start from Pattakama Sutta's layperson wisdom, because that is the primary level, starting level. And then come to these two. Now think about someone who has a lot of greed about one's possessions and then going to see the Sankara's dynamic nature. What is going to happen? That might not be complete in this wisdom structure. So start from what you call Paññā-sampadā, paññā-sampadā, and then as you practice well, then come to this level.
Oh, Bhante,
Yes.
this it looks like it's the 5 hindrances that Bhante is talking about. All these factors, except the avijja, visama, lobha.
Well, you could see that there is a similarity with regard to the 2 to 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. But first one is little different.
Yes.
So if you look at Kama-chanda being the first one of the 5 hindrances, but here the Buddha is asking lay people not the Kama-chanda, because lay people have to enjoy Kama-chanda.
Okay.
There's no argument about it. People have to enjoy Kama-chanda. They have to see, hear, touch, taste, all that. But lay people should not cross that border. What is that border? Abhijja Visamalobha border. But for a monastic, Kama-chanda definitely is going to be a big hindrance for them because they are working solely for that meditation purpose. So there is a difference with regard to the first one. Otherwise, other 4 are similar.
Okay, thank
Mostly similar. Yeah, but the first one is different.
you. Nivarana.
Yes. All right. If there are no questions, let me give you a heads up about what's happening on next Friday. Aliana, we are having our review about Dīghajāṇu Sutta next Friday. So save your questions. Any questions about the 8 accomplishments, especially Uttana-sampadā, then Arakka-sampadā, Kalyana-mittata, Samajivikata. What is Uttana-sampadā? Energetic striving. Arakka-sampadā, that was
Protection.
protection part, protection of wealth in the first place, and Kalyana-mittata, noble friendship, and then Samajivikata, balancing out finances. These are the 4 very important things for lay people to concern about this current life. They must work on that. And then for the future lives, until you attain Nibbana, you need a good life, right? You don't want to be a homeless person. You don't want to be anybody who is having health problems, right? You need a good life. Then what should you do? Saddha-sampadā, Sila-sampadā, Chāga-sampadā, paññā-sampadā. So these are accomplishments. They are not one-time activity. Today you do Saddha, tomorrow you are not doing it. These are accomplishments. That means you have to achieve them slowly, gradually. Perhaps it might take time, but it has to happen. So try to think about questions in your daily life, maybe challenges, maybe opportunities, and maybe you might be already doing them, and come up with the questions. Aliana will be posting numbers, maybe 20 questions. We'll be taking 20 questions and we will be having that Q&A review next Friday, which will be September 19th, one night. All right, so with that in mind, now we are going to end our Sutta discussion by transferring good karmas with departed relatives and Devanaga mind. May all the good karmas be transferred to all the departed ones who passed away in the name of all of us. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idammi ñāti naṁ hotu sukhitā huntu ñātayo. Idammi ñāti naṁ hotu sukhitā huntu ñātayo. Idammi ñāti naṁ hotu sukhitā huntu ñātayo. May Deva Naga Mahidika receive all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of us for good health, quality of life, prosperity, safety, and happiness. May Deva Naga Mahidika also attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ettavata cha amhehe sambataṃ paññā-sampadā sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata cha amhehe sambataṃ paññā-sampadā sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata cha amhehe sambataṃ paññā-sampadā sabbe sattā anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahindika puñyantaṃ anumoditva chirang rakkhaṃtu sāsanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahindika puñyantaṃ anumoditva chirang rakkhaṃtu desanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahindika puñyantaṃ anumoditva chirang rakkhaṃtu maṃ paraṃ chirang rakkhaṃtu tvaṃ sadati. Dhamma wish is to be surrounded with kalyana mittas, like-minded people like you. At the same time, maybe become kalyana mittas to as many sentient beings as we meet in our samsaric life till we attain Nibbana. Imina punya kamena mami bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yavanibbana patya. Finally, may all the good karmas we've been making today by learning about paññā-sampadā given in the Dīghajāṇu Sutta. May all the good karmas creating all these ways be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana siddhissa niccang vaddha pachāyino chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati samicchatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Right, so with those blessings, wishing you a pleasant good night till we see you again on Friday for our review. Good night, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
Bhante.
you.
Thank you, Thiruvān
Bhante.
Sarana.
Okay.
Thank you.